Okay, so we're back. We created our terrain. One thing, when we're using backgrounds and we're creating different atmospheres, the atmospheres were not showing because background will override. Let's go, for example, let's load and let's going to something very like all orange yellows. So we'll load that atmosphere and you can preview it. Will affect the ground, but the sky you can also already, it doesn't change at all. And it's the reason why, because we have the background using. So we need to go back to main camera. Let's edit this object, and in backdrop we need disable. So click OK, and at this point you notice now we will have it correct background. So if we render at this point, we can see skies and clouds and everything. Okay, so we're done with our terrain, and let's right now go ahead and work with atmosphere. And one thing you will notice actually, that if we go ahead and right now let's go atmosphere, load it, and reload some of the like totally red, example atmosphere, totally red sky, and try to render the ground kind of will accepting, but you notice right here we cut off and our sky doesn't apply, and the reason is why, because our background current that override this. So for this case we'll go to edit our main camera, let's go to backdrop, okay, and we'll just disable. You don't need to unload it, because in case if we need to readjust we can just re-enable. And if we do this, you will notice at this point already that we have it sky applied to that. Okay, next things, if we look on this image, you can see the sunshine sign going from about right here. This is what about 2 o'clock, so sun was about at that point and front shine, but we still have it some nice little bit ambient light. We kind of try to match. You don't necessarily need match all the way lighting. In that case is why we can create a very beautiful scenery, but we kind of want to match in some sun position. So let's take sunlight, first atmosphere, load it, and let's do from the scratch our own. So we'll just load a generic basic one. We'll have it our sunlight, about this position right here. So we have a very nice distant fog, that stuff. Okay, maybe going now atmosphere editor. Okay, in atmosphere editor, let's go to we pop up a little bit in the sun, go lighting, make ambient. I do like global illumination, so we'll give it us better shades and better ambient lighting. Let's go on the clouds, we go add, and we go use it specular sunlight and clouds. We just add one right here. Okay, and we also can add little bit fog. So to do this, we'll select again clouds, and we'll just drop them down. And you remember we was 200 meters, so we can start maybe with a 0 and maybe make height right around here. Can increase slightly cover, so the clouds will be a little bit below us. Let's increase height. Let me see on the density. Okay, we can increase altitude. So we have slightly clouds around. Okay. Also, if you look on a side view, you will notice our 2 clouds layer. The top we created and bottom we created as a fog or a down ground location. Other things also what I want to do, I want to add a little bit coloring in our trees, just to make them look more natural. Again, one more thing, just remember, go and save your project. Okay, so we have it right here, and we have it ecosystem. And let's go right now to close this one. Go to our 2 ecosystem. We have it, and okay, we have a cherry tree right here. So when we have it leaves, we'll just double tap click, open. We'll go right click, edit function, and we'll just do add blender. Let's create object center. Okay, so let me see if I can make it smaller. So when we select here, you can go ahead and select object center. So next we're creating just noise, connect noise to these ones. Next let's create color map, and we'll just preload maybe this one, modify, just change that one to the a bit more green kind of color, darker green. Click OK. Here, and this one will connect. So this does, it's based on the size and position. It will change a little bit variation in the colors. The other things what I want to do, let's click 2 of them and Control C to copy. Okay, so click OK here, click OK. Let's go to a for tree, edit function, click on this one, Control V, so we paste the function and just save a little bit time for us. So we connect here. Okay, let's go to maple tree. Okay, click edit function, Control V, and let's connect it. This is faster way, and what it does, it will create the trees will have more variation in the colors. We'll just give it, you already can see a bit more natural look for our terrain. Okay, here is our image. The few things for animation I want to do, and it will be look very great if you have time. We'll go to atmosphere editor, click on clouds, and let's set a little bit velocity and rate of change. We'll animate our clouds. We're also going for the brightening. Let's do same things. So this is our fog. We'll move it as well. It will give it more life to our picture. Okay, we're done. Next things we want to animate. So you can press F11 or just click on the wizard. And when we select camera, right click, add keyframe to all properties. And one thing, if we go back to our animation and look, we have it about 22 seconds here. So let's go to we add a frame to this point. So can scroll down or just go ahead, tap right here, 22, 15, right click, add keyframe. So here is our animations, and you can see the clouds will changing, clouds actually moving. Right in the picture in preview, let's make more alive. We'll next go ahead and right click on a camera properties. Sometimes you want to set to widescreen or other rate will match your videos. I'll leave with the square pixel for this tutorial. Now let's go click right on this one. And one thing you want to do, at least broadcast quality. What it does, it will add motion blur to clouds and everything. Next thing, what we want to do, it is change resolution. Because our original was shot in high definition, and it is 1920 by 180. This is our native resolution with 72 dpi. So this we set here, and also atmosphere editing. Let's go to sky, fog, haze. And if you work on the clouds, you do want to increase quality, so it will be much less grainy. By the way, I turn it no on animation because I want to leave it quality. Any of the changes that you apply to atmosphere here can be animated. Okay, so let's click OK. And at this point, you can actually go ahead, left click, and you can start animation. Before you start rendering animation, first we were shooting in NTSC actually 60 frames, that one on high def interlaced, so we'll just use it 30 frames non-interlaced, and after we'll split frames. Okay, normally if you shoot on a film, you want to set 24 frames per second. That's what we normally do. Okay, next place where you want to save it, and here it's our settings we applied. We can apply additional like render to the render cows or other things, but for this test of this tutorial we probably maybe after render animation. But right now what I want to do to continue, I want just to render one single frame, and we'll just pretend like this animation and continue work with this single frame. So we'll have this preset on high def resolution, broadcast quality, everything. We're ready, and let's render our image. Okay, so here it's finished our one frame, and we can kind of preview scroll. This is 1920 by 1080. It's HD resolution, and it took us about 40 minutes to render this frame. Again, we can pop up a bit quality. You can see small grains maybe on the sky. Okay, we have fog, and again, if we do animation, that will be look very nice, very interesting image. But again, if we do that way, it will take for very long time. And for this tutorial, we'll use just a single frame to show how we can embed it. And if you do an animation, it will have it exactly the same steps to do it. Also, if you notice, we kind of try to match coloring of the original image, so kind of haze. We'll do apply color coding afterwards because I want to bring more warm colors to this. Okay, so go ahead and save this image. If you want it, you also can save the Z map, so we can apply blur on this image, and it's post-process when we start working in After Effects. Okay, so we're done here, and we'll continue in another part to work with merging together our images.